The ANC fired this man, called him incompetent, said the city's finances were going in the wrong direction under his watch. But now, they've handed him 179 billion rands of your money. The same party that kicked Nkululeko Dunga out of Ekurhuleni just gave him the keys to Gauteng'S entire treasury. How does that happen? I'll tell you exactly how, and it's worse than you think. Stay with me. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because this is the kind of story we break down so nobody can lie to you.
So help me God.
Nkululeko Dunga has a huge task ahead of him. He will, among others, have to stabilize the economy of Gauteng. The Economic Freedom Fighters provincial chairperson says this is a job he is ready for.
We are prepared in our attempt to ensure that there is a stability of government, politically and administratively. And contrary to belief, our interest is always on the basis of a stable, functional, and effective government. And we know we have worked, even with yourselves, for quite a while, even outside of government, to be able to appreciate that the principles that we uphold as the economic freedom fighters particularly are some of the things that you express in government.
Dunga was the Ekurhuleni finance MMC until he was fired in June 2024. At that time, Ekurhuleni Mayor Nkosindiphile Xhakaza said it was due to unforeseen misalignments. However, Premier Lesufi says they still have confidence in him.
This thing that when we have a different political opinion with the person that is occupying, you must hunt for weaknesses and go and dig for negativity. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. Give him a chance to prove in his responsibilities and to lead a political office.
Lesufi has insisted that the EFF did not choose their finance position, but that it was offered to them. One analyst believes that he was caught between a rock and a hard place.
I don't think that this was like the first choice. This is kind of being imposed upon Lesufi, who doesn't really have a very a tip-top executive team in the province in any case. And this hasn't necessarily improved it because this particular now MEC has a sort of dodgy record at the municipal level. So it's unclear whether he's going to improve things, but this is basically the consequence of a deal.
The Premier has dismissed comments that the cabinet reshuffle was factional, saying there were discussions all round before the decision was made. Dunga is expected to meet with his predecessor, Lebogang Maile, next week for a formal handover. Neria Hlakotsa, SABC News, Johannesburg.
But before we get to that press briefing, let's talk about what the ANC does not want you to focus on. Red flag number 1. This man was fired from Ekurhuleni for what they called unforeseen misalignments. What does that even mean? That's politician language for something went wrong and we don't want to tell you what. Red flag number 2. Dunga was accused of failing to submit the city's annual financial statements on time. That's not a small mistake. That's a legal violation of the Municipal Finance Management Act. Red flag number 3. The analyst on SABC didn't say he was a great pick, didn't say he was qualified. They said Lesufi doesn't have a tip-top executive team and that Dunga has a dodgy record at municipal level. So ask yourself, if your financial advisor was fired from their last job, broke the law on paperwork, and their own colleagues called their record dodgy, would you hand them your life savings? Then why is the ANC handing him 179 billion rands of yours? And here's the question nobody is asking. Who pushed for this deal at the national level? Because Lesufi himself admitted this wasn't his decision alone. Someone in Lutuli House signed off on this. Who? And what did they get in return? Stay right there, because I'm about to play you the rest of that press briefing, and I want you to watch Lesufi's face when he answers these questions.
Let's take you to that live event on the go. The Premier of Gauteng, Lesufi, addressing media at this moment.
Of the Gauteng budget directed on social spending, with health, education and social development remaining our provincial priorities through the budget. This allocation is aimed at improving the quality of life across the province. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all the political parties that supported our budget yesterday. We've also developed the roadmap to 2030, and this roadmap is aimed at accelerating inclusive economic growth, driving reindustrialization, attracting quality investment, supporting entrepreneurship, and creating quality jobs for our people. Together, these initiatives balance protecting the social wage while at the same time building a competitive economy for the future. To respond to the water disruptions that peaked about 6 weeks ago, the provincial government took coordinated steps to address these problems, including rolling out an operation center led by the MEC responsible for COPTA, Mr. Jacob Mamaulo, to coordinate with national entities and municipalities. Some of its short-term measures included pressure management, leak repairs, and the management of water tankers. As we committed during the State of the Province address, the construction of a new ground reservoir and a tower in Brixton has been successfully concluded, alongside the completion of an emergency boosting pipe at that station. These projects are already making tangible difference in strengthening water provision across Johannesburg suburbs. But this is only the beginning. As the Gauteng provincial government, we are resolute in our mission to secure reliable, sustainable, and equitable water supply for all our residents. We'll continue to invest in modern infrastructure, expand capacity, and work tirelessly to ensure that every household, every business, and every community has access to water that they need. We agree water is life, and are committed in protecting this lifeline for generations to come. Even though there are still sporadic areas without water, almost 90% of our province have access to water now. While these occasional shortages and maintenance backlog persist, these interventions have brought significant stabilization across the province. These interventions align and support progress towards a long-term resilience as we prepare for the Lesotho Highlands Water Project Phase 2. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the City of Ekurhuleni for achieving a clean sweep at the 2026 Department of Water and Sanitation Awards, earning national recognition across the blue drop, that is water quality, green drop, that is wastewater treatment, and no drop, which is water conservation. The City of Ekurhuleni secured gold-level green drop certifications for treatment plants in Benoni, Debiton, Westergat, and others, while claiming first, second, and third place for top-performing wastewater system nationally. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate Midval, local municipality, for winning a total of 2 awards for excellence in wastewater management and infrastructure upgrades. These recognitions and awards to our municipalities is a confirmation that our joint efforts of working with all municipalities are yielding positive results. While we celebrate these achievements, we do acknowledge that we still have a lot of work to do, a lot of work to improve, and also to ensure that every household has water. There are still households that still struggle with water in our province, and we're working around the clock to ensure that this is eliminated completely in our province. We are pleased that the Gautrain, which is valued over 445 billion rand as of 2026, has now been handed over to the Gauteng provincial government. This stands as one of South Africa's most valuable public transport assets. This historic milestone ensures that the people of Gauteng have direct ownership of one of Africa's most advanced rail systems. We are in the final stages of negotiations with the preferred bidder, who will operate, maintain, refurbish, upgrade, and modernize Gauteng Gautrain for the next 15 years. Once concluded, a new concessionaire will be officially appointed. Importantly, we reaffirm our commitment to the public-private partnership model, which has consistently delivered efficiency, innovation, and world-class service. Last month, we opened a government-run food distribution center in Centurion, making us the only provincial government to have a food bank to support more than 400,000 people that go through poverty in our province. This short-term intervention is meant to ensure that we eliminate urban hunger and support those families that have nothing to eat every night. The food parcels are given first to child-headed households, unemployed people, and those with medical needs, so that they can have something to eat before they take their medication. This center has created about 70 jobs for young people, with more to come, and is also providing skills training and connections to the economic opportunities. We are proud as the Gauteng government that we are starting slowly but surely a process to de-tenderize government services and build capacity of the state to render these services. To the more than 400,000 families that will get these food parcels, we are proud that we've taken this route to provide food to all these families. We are also pleased with the deployment of the South African National Defence Force in our province. They've been collaborating well with the South African police to intensify efforts to stabilize communities affected by violent and organized crime in our province. As you all know, Gauteng remains the epicenter of crime. But since the deployment of soldiers in our province, we've seen a drastic shift in the level of criminal activities, even though we are quite aware when the soldiers are in one area, the Zamazamas and those that are involved in gang violence migrate to another area. We are pleased that our law enforcement agencies have strengthened their strategies to combat this new approach. Ladies and gentlemen, it's public knowledge that since the beginning of the 7th administration in Gauteng after the 2024 national and provincial elections, the Gauteng government of provincial unity was constituted through the following political parties: the African National Congress, Patriotic Alliance, Inkatha, Freedom Party, and Rise Mzansi. With a legislature of 80 members, instability was a worrying factor. When the Democratic Alliance tabled a motion of no confidence, it was an affirmation that if you can't change the coalition numbers in the legislature, governance in our province may at one stage come to a halt. Last week, we couldn't proceed to adopt the adjustment budget due to disagreement within political parties. It was within this context that the national government gave us the national leadership of the ruling party gave us the go-ahead to engage with other political parties that were willing to come to the legislature, to the executive, so that they can stabilize numbers and ensure that we've got a reliable government in our province. We held discussions with the Democratic Alliance, We further held discussions with the economic freedom fighters as well as Umkhonto we Sizwe Party. Both the economic freedom fighters as well as Umkhonto we Sizwe Party agreed to cooperate with us. While